This is a song about a referee, a little boy who grows up to be a referee. Nice, isn't it? Someday when I grow up, I'd like to find a way to be out on that field every Saturday or Sunday if you want to get in the NFL. Someday when I'm older, I'd like so much to be. I'd like to be that guy they call the referee. Hi everybody, I'm Bryan Neale, and I'd like to share with you the 4 commitments that I give to every audience that I speak in front of. The first thing is I'm going to be unique. You're going to see from my background, from refereeing the national championship game, to winning a refrigerator on The Price is Right, to flying an airplane, to playing music, my talk is going to be different than anyone else you're going to see. Second thing, it's going to be relevant. There's nothing more irritating to me than when speakers get in front of audiences and talk about things that have absolutely no bearing on their life. And I'll do research and work with you to make sure that the things that I talk about are relevant to your people. The third commitment that I have is it's going to be real. I'm a normal guy. I live in the Midwest. I have kids. I have hopes. I have dreams. I have a mortgage. I have everything that everyone in the audience has, and I find that people can really relate to that. And lastly, it's going to be fun. I pass out money at my programs. People love that, and I guarantee you that if you hire me to come speak to your group, you're going to have fun and people are going to have fun. There was an article written in the New York Post that said, the key to the BCS National Championship game is someone you don't know. It's a guy named Bryan Neale from Indianapolis, Indiana, and he's the umpire, and he's the guy that controls the pace of the game. This is me. I'm standing out on the field before the game. Mike Tirico. Mike Tirico is one of the most famous sportscasters in the world. He's on ESPN all the time. Comes up to me and says, "Hey, Bryan, how you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, good, Mike. How are you?" I'm like, "Holy shit, he knows my name. It's Mike Tirico." He goes, "You know, you were the topic at dinner last night." I said, "Yeah, I figured that. It happens a lot." I had played football once when I was in 2nd grade, but not like this, because in August, especially in Evansville, man, the grass is just brown. You know what I mean? It's dead and brown, and you can smell it and feel it. And we're doing these drills, and we got to do these leg lifts. We lay on the ground, lift your legs up, spread them apart, and beat on your stomach. And I'm all but close to tears. I'm dying. My mom picked me up, and she said, "What do you think?" I said, "I loved it. I loved it." And I did. There was something about the idea of being able to go out, put on warrior gear, and express my emotions that I never got to do. All the frustration that I had, my parents splitting up and moving, all this instability, all of a sudden, and I was a real nice kid, I was real quiet and everything, I could knock the crap out of somebody and help them back up and go do it again. What happened after that was the big thing. I hadn't been real close to my dad, and I didn't have a lot of fatherly type influences growing up to that point. And Tom Simpson came up to me afterwards, and he said something to me that I had never heard before and never felt before, but I always didn't know that I wanted. And if you ever talk to a little kid, if you're a coach, one of the ways you get a hold of them is you grab the top of their head and you bend it back. So they're looking at you. And so Tom Simpson grabbed the back of my head and bent it back. You ever had someone look at you like that? Like not just look at you, but I mean look into your soul, into here. He was doing that to me. And whoom. He looked down at me and said, "Neale, I'm proud of you, son." I hadn't heard that before, and that felt really good. People ask me why I spend so much time. Why is this refereeing so important to you? Why is this such a big deal? It's because every time I go out there, national championship game, it's that little kid. Every single one sitting in here has something that they want to do in their life that they're not doing, that they've suppressed down, that they've said, "Oh, I can't. Nah, it's not for me. I'm too old. I don't have enough money. I'm not big enough. I'm not smart enough." There's no differentiator there for me. You see? I was just connected to it, and that's the first step I took, was getting connected to what it is that I wanted to do in my life. And the day that I worked that first game at Bloomington South High School, I went back after the season was over, like I had always done, like I'd been taught by my football coaches, and I wrote down what I wanted to have happen at that point. I wanted to be in Division I by the time I was 30. I wanted to be in the Big Ten by the time I was 36. I wanted to be in the National Football League by 41, and I wanted to referee the Super Bowl by 51. So I'm begging you now, pull the dream up, and then you have to go to the next little action, the first little action to get you rolling on whatever it is. Because when I was 19, I had no flipping idea what the process was to get up to the BCS National Championship. No idea whatsoever. And you know what? I didn't care. All I knew was the first thing I had to do was pass the test to get my license. Then I had to go find a game. all that happens, I think, because I had this connectedness to this thing that I love so much. I'm not a fan of the word passion. People say you got to find your passion, you know? Because I can't say I'm real passionate about putting on polyester knickers, you know? I'm not passionate about getting my ass chewed necessarily. But I'm passionate about this football, this game that I love so much, that meant so much to me, and that guy that pulled my head back when I was a little kid said, I'm proud of you. Because guess what? Guess what my football official bosses tell me? Guess what Bill Carollo told me after that game? Guess what Tom Ransom told me after the BCS National Championship game? I can't tell you how proud I am of you. Tom Ransom said that to me. Can't tell you how proud I am of you. Still feels the same. Well, thanks for watching that. I hope that gives you some sense of what I'm like and what I would be like in front of your group. I want you to know this, though. I just gave a speech last fall, and a gentleman came up to me and he said, I'm 93 years old, and I've been coming to this organization for 45 years, and you're the best speaker we've ever heard. And I just about cried when he told me that. If you bring me in to speak to your group, I guarantee you in some way, shape, or form, you're going to hear the exact same thing, and they're going to say it about you because you're the one that hired me.